Is Friday, July 23rd, and I am here. Wasn't here last week. Apologies about that. Just wasn't in a good place. Just wasn't feeling it, just nothing to talk about. Didn't want to take up fucking dead air left, right, and center. So yes, anyway, here I am. If you're watching on YouTube, hi. If you're watching live, hi. If you're watching on the Twitch, hi. What's going on? Have you had a good week? How's my week? Been pretty okay. It's been okay. Some ups, some downs. Summer really depresses me. I don't know what it is about. Well, actually, I do know what it is. I mean, look, I was born and raised and spent the first 30 years of my life in the UK, where summer was basically occasional heat waves followed by shit tons of rain. And then, of course, I upsticks and moved to the States. And for the last 20 years, I've lived in California, where rain is like a mythical creature. It's, it's like God. We're not sure if it exists. Some of us hope to see it again, and some of us just think that we're fucked. We've been in the middle of a heat wave, and the heat wave, and the drought, because we haven't had the rain that we have needed for the last 18 months. I mean, the last winter in particular was really quite dry. It's kind of depressing. It really is. And it's ironic that we spent money on a new roof because the old one was leaking. And since we put the new roof on, fuck all has happened. Anyway, so I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody's doing good. I am just going to check some stuff and shit. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Good. I am live. Good. I'm just checking because apparently nobody was watching. And that's always fun. So if you are here, say hi in the chat room, in one of the chat rooms, and we'll crack on. To carry on my thing, there is a thing called seasonal depression syndrome, I think. I think that's the technical term. And it's basically people who in the winter months in particular, get depressed because it's darker and it's wetter and the days are shorter and it's colder, so you don't go out as much. And for the longest time, I have said, I have this reaction in the summer, and people have laughed at me. Until recently, because it's actually been proven to be a thing in the summer. People can have seasonal depression syndrome in the summer. And that's me. As soon as it sort of like gets to May, I am miserable until the end of September. It's too hot. I don't want to go out. Fucking mosquitoes everywhere. AC's running all the time, running up my bills. Too much sunlight. People walking around in shorts. People walking around in obscene Hawaiian shirts. It just gets me down every now and again. I mean, I'm not used to heat. I really aren't. I mean, I haven't acclimatized even after 20 years. So, it's been an interesting couple of weeks with this heat wave up and down. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, we're going into August and then September, which are traditionally really the hottest months of the year. So, it's going to be an interesting couple of months. So anyway, say hi if you're in the chat room or not. It's okay. I am live, which is good. Let me check on the old Twitch stream, of course, because hopefully the Twitch stream is working. Let's see. Boom. Where's my channel? Am I on my channel? There you go. Good. I'm on my channel. Here we go. Thank God for that. People are saying hello. Felt so alone. I felt so alone in a hug. Hello, Carlos. Hello, David. Thank you for joining. So, topics of conversation today. As I said in the sort of like the preamble or the little notes, EA Play was yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Ted Lasso because Ted Lasso is back. Hello, Zach. How you doing? We're going to talk a little bit about the Activision Blizzard lawsuit because that has to be talked about. and probably whatever else you fancy talking about. Can you believe it's the 20th anniversary of Max Payne today? I saw this on Twitter this morning. 20 years ago, the OG Max Payne was released. How fucking old am I? I mean, I was, 20 years ago today, 2001. I was in San Francisco. I was working for Ubisoft, and I was getting, actually probably around this time 20 years ago, might have actually been the greatest boondoggle in the history of my career in PR. The big trend back then for PR people was to have gaming events that were a week long. Some people did them in Mexico. Some people did them in Miami or whatever. And we wanted to have something at Ubisoft because Ubisoft had just acquired Red Storm, which was why I was there, and several other studios. And they had and publishers, SSI, I think they'd got. And they basically just picked up a bunch of stuff and wanted to showcase it all and couldn't figure out a way to do it. So we got talking about doing a Gamers Week. And we were like, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? It's like, oh, let's go to Colorado. It's beautiful there. No, I get hay fever. Screw that. Let's go to Miami. Nope, too hot. Let's go to Maui. It was actually the corporate travel agent suggested that. And so we shipped a bunch of gear to a hotel resort in Maui, took out 25 of the top press in the US, and I think several from Europe also joined us from the European offices. And we showed off Ghost Recon, and we showed off Batman Vengeance, and we showed off, Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. We had Pool of Radiance. We had a bunch of games, absolute bunch of games, and because of the way that it was, we do all the events in the afternoon. So basically, we had this huge air-conditioned area where we'd have presentations, and the dev teams would come in, or somebody from the dev team would come in, talk about the game, and show a demo, much like GDC, E3, etc. And then everybody would get to go and play the game on dev kits or whatever we were playing on. And because of just it was the optimum heat and humidity time was the early afternoon. That's when we did the thing, which basically allowed everybody to get up when they wanted, have a breakfast, go to the beach, lay out. And then we'd do the work, and then we'd be done by 4. So it was like 4 hours a day. So by 4 o'clock every day, I'm sitting at the pool bar with my other PR people and people from IGN and GameSpot, GameSpy. We're in the house back in the day, Game Informer, OXM, PC Gamer. And yeah, that was about 20. And then I think it was early August. That we did it. So that was 20 years ago, around this time, that me and 4 other PR, 3 other PR people convinced Ubisoft to shell out to send us to Maui for a week with a bunch of journalists, where we got a lot done, got a lot of work done. I learned to scuba dive. I got certified for scuba diving because I did lessons in the pool in the morning. All got suntans, drank an inordinate amount of mudslides, and just really had a good time. And yeah, that was actually probably the high point, or one of the 2 high points, I think, of my Ubisoft career, because the rest of the time was fucking awful. I worked with some very good people. The other members of the PR team were absolute fucking rock stars. Love them to bits, even to this day. But yeah, couldn't stand up a management at Ubisoft then and now. I left Ubisoft the following March, I think it was. My exit interview was 2 hours long, with me sitting down and basically telling the CEO what was wrong with the company. And to be fair, he took it. And he was like, you know what, this is part of the thing. I need to know. And he was very gracious, and he acknowledged there were some issues. And they still have these issues to this day, which is why they have some issues. But anyway, yeah, that was a good week. A freaking good week. One of the best times I had while I lived in San Francisco. I only lived in San Francisco for a year. And again, not exactly for me. Too many British people. Too many, yeah. Just like, I'm not moving. I don't want to stay there. Too many fucking English people everywhere. So I moved to LA. Yeah, and next time I will talk about, I'll talk about one of the other boondoggles that we did, one of the Gamers Weeks we did at Vivendi, which was actually really fun as well. Oh, sorry, it's just, yes. So going back to it, Max Payne, 20 years ago. So yes, that's what it would have come out 20 years ago. I remember playing it. I remember being blown away by what Remedy had done. And obviously Max Payne 2, and I actually have them on my Steam. I have them on my Steam account because they're classics, and I have Max Payne 3. I didn't like Max Payne 3 as much. It felt a little, I don't know. It just felt a little un-Max Payne-y to me. But Max Payne 1 and 2, I mean, Max Payne just, I mean, the first one and the second one, just woohoo! Really kooky, great action, that slow-mo, really cutting-edge graphics for the time, great voiceover, great story. I mean, obviously the weakest part of anything to do with Max Payne is the god-awful Mark Wahlberg movie, which is one of the movies I put on when I have insomnia and I'm asleep inside 20 minutes. True story. Hello, Nexus 6 Batty. Hello, the Robot Pants. Oh, this logo artwork you're talking about, that was actually GT had it done. Game Trailers had it done. And obviously on my last day, I wanted a little memento. So yeah, I robbed it. Actually, it wasn't a question of robbing it, to be honest with you, because they weren't going to do anything with it. So they said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "Okay." So hang on, let me just tilt that a little bit more so I can stand that way. And there you go. You can see the glorious AG artwork. Yes, that was a long time ago. So there you go. Max Payne wasn't Remedy. That's probably right. That's why it didn't feel like a Max Payne game. It's a 2K game, wasn't it? Take-Two or somebody. Was it Rockstar? I'd Google it, but I can't be bothered. All right, let's talk about, and yes, I saw, Carlos, your question about free-to-play. X-Defiant. Is that the hang on. All right. X-Defiant. Yes, no, God, no interest in it whatsoever. I want fucking Rogue Spear, I want Rainbow Six, and I want proper Ghost Recon. That's it. I would like Sam Fisher back as well. Proper Splinter Cell. Thank you. Ugh, please don't fucking be putting a fucking fake-ass gaming crap up in front of me. Cronkade, thank you very much for saying hi. And you used to watch me all the time back in the game sales days. That's very nice of you. Well, as you can see, I've aged terribly. I still have the AG logo. I have 1% of the viewership. But, you know, hey, I'm still alive. 2 heart attacks, 4 heart surgeries later, I'm still alive, which is good. But anyway, let's talk about Activision Blizzard. And this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable because obviously this week the state of California has sued Activision Blizzard over sexist, abusive practices in the workplace. And if you've read this, a summation of the allegations, they are not fucking pretty. And IGN has summed it up pretty well, in fact. And then you can also get a couple of more legal-esque analysis of it out and about. But I mean, basically, they're saying that there was a frat boy culture down at Blizzard, and that female employees were belittled if they asked for help, passed over for promotion, not paid as much. male members of the team would get drunk and, basically harass the women, the female members of staff. One female member of staff who was having an affair or having a relationship with her superior, her male superior, committed suicide on a business trip following what I understand to be nude pictures of her being shown around at a company party. Basically the supervisor had taken pictures of her and showed them, and she committed suicide. And basically, it's kind of fucking shit. Now, for me, it's. I mean, one, it's abhorrent. You've got to admit, it's fucking abhorrent. I've got to say that in all my years, I never saw anything like that happen in the companies I worked at. But I'm going to throw this caveat out. I haven't worked in-house since 2010. Therefore, the cultures have changed, maybe. When I was working at companies like Ubisoft, Vivendi, Nova Logic, and so on, the dev teams, to be fair, really didn't have many female members of staff, if at all. The female members of staff would be in marketing and sales and PR and HR and various other aspects. And so maybe I didn't see it because it wasn't happening, because that mix wasn't there. But I got to say, what's been going on in Activision Blizzard is fucking reprehensible. And the people in charge who've overseen this systemic crap need to be held accountable. The business needs to be held accountable. Of course, Activision and Bobby Kotick and his crew of douchebag frat boy cronies have come out and said, well, it's just the state of California being oppressive to business, which is why so many businesses are leaving the state of California. Look, California is not exactly good for business. It's not exactly good for small business. I know this because I've seen what they can do to small businesses like my wife's, and they're kind of fucking shit. But they do suck up to big business, and they do let big business get away with shit. And Bobby Kotick, if you want to take Activision and fuck off elsewhere, do it with my fucking blessing. Or just do it even better and do us a bigger fucking favor. You and your entire crew of frat boy-esque rich white men with shriveled dicks, just fuck off out the industry and do us all a favor. Let's get some new leadership in to these particular places, and in anywhere where there's shit. Ubisoft is another one. Let's fucking get some new leadership in, because this is just not right. It really isn't. I mean, I have some of the best people I've worked with, lifelong friends in the games industry, are women. Some of my best bosses have been women. In fact, my best bosses have been women. Nova Logic, Vivendi in particular. Back to back, boom, amazing bosses. And to see this bullshit going on over and over again, it's just not right. And look, I'm going to hold up my hand up. When I was in PR, especially sort of like in the late 90s, and I haven't read the comments yet. I haven't read the comments because let's see. I just want to get through this. In the 90s, early 2000s, I admit as a PR guy, E3, let's do booth babes. Let's have some booth babes. Let's have an attractive spokesmodel or three, and let's have them walk around and pose for people in the T-shirts and blah, 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 because that was par for the course at the time. And honestly, I didn't know any better. And I don't think any of my friends, my colleagues did either. We didn't realize what was wrong with that. And so I hold my hand up. I hold my hands up and say, what we did there was wrong. What we should have done was have booth babes and booth boys, booth girls, booth boys, spokesmodels of both genders. That would have been better. That I don't have a problem with, because models have got to make a living somehow, and if you can do it, you just have men and women. That's it. Because let's face it, any woman in the games industry walking past, all she will see is the likes of this, and nobody wants to see that. They deserve some eye candy too. Yeah, so I'm just saying that the industry has changed, and I've not been I've not seen a lot of this crap as it's gone on firsthand, but I'm hearing it now because more and more women are getting into games, and the And there are these people, these men, these pathetic excuses for men, to be honest with you, the shriveled dick brigade, who feel that they can gatekeep and they can harass people and they could just be general pricks, and gang up on women. And I'm sorry, this shit doesn't fly. And I got to say, I don't think it would have flown at the various companies I worked at, because there was strong leadership in several positions, not least female leadership as well. So any of that shenanigans, and people would have been kicked out, kicked in the nuts on the way out. So anyway, I really hope that if, with all these accusations, if they're true, and let's face it, they probably fucking are, that both Ubisoft and, because Ubisoft are being sued in France, that Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard and every other company like the Riot Games, they get dragged backwards over hot fucking coals, metaphorically speaking. Of course, the abusers will drag them over hot coals as well. So anyway, I am sorry to just start that off on such a negative aspect, but I just read this fucking report this week and it just set me the fuck off. I mean, really, somebody took her own life because of these fucking no dick bastards. So anyway, I am going to go back to the chat room. Hello, everybody. Incuneto, sorry, apologize. Shit pronunciation. My mouth isn't working. Gronkade, Melchior, Pontius Rodling, Puro, Tommy's voice, RP Genius, Raypad in the house. We are going to talk about Lasso in a minute. A little bit of Ted Lasso. Hang on. What? Sorry, I'm reading this from Cronkade. Bobby Kotick was listed in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. I'm going to put this up here to the show. I'm not making this up. Is that true? I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have to, let's face it, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. What a sick fuckers out there. Anyway. I am not going to say kill Whitey, but I am going to say slap idiots. Slap idiots. Let's see. Tommy's voice. Have they had any response to each one? I mean, Activision's response is, this is woefully inaccurate. This didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. State of California is being mean to us. But let's face it, it's Activision Blizzard. You couldn't fucking trust them as far as you could fucking throw them. Let's face it, it's been a douchebag company for the last decade. Not all the staff. I'm not saying all the staff. I'm just saying it's been led by a bunch of douchebags for the last decade or so. I mean, a lot of people at the lower level, but if you who are good, but if you let systemic fucking abuse go through over and over, it's a dickbag company. And look, they're so big, people aren't going to stand up for themselves. People aren't going to stand up and say you have to stop because of what's happening to this person. People are cowards. People need their jobs. People get not cowards, but people are terrified for their own safety, for their own job security. Because let's face it, video game companies can hire and fire at fucking will, especially in California. So, okay. Hello, TJ. All right. So I am not going to talk that whole Bobby Kotick, Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Have to do some research before we even talk about that. If that's true, it's allegations. I don't know. You have to put a link. If you have a link to it, let's talk about it. Happy to do so. Anyway, let's move on. EA Play was yesterday, and EA came out and they announced a brand new Star Wars game, and they announced the return of Road Rash and Jungle Strike, and FIFA was going to be playable for the first time ever, or first time in 20 years. And of course, they didn't announce any of that. They announced that Battlefield Portal is going to be a mix of aspects from various different Battlefield games. I think Skate is coming back. I was always a Tony Hawk guy. I know you have one of the two. I was a Tony Hawk guy. But I think the big, interesting one is Dead Space. Now, Dead Space is coming back. Dead Space is being remade on the next-gen consoles. Basically, it's what they did with Mass Effect and the Mass Effect trilogy, and got no quibble with it. I think, I might actually sit and play Dead Space this time. I didn't play the first two, couldn't get a hold of them at the time for whatever reason when I was a media person. Oh, that's right. I was on EA's blacklist for the longest time. And then I started doing NBC, and EA were like, oh, let us give you this. And look, hey, every PR person has their people they can't stand. And let's face it, I pissed off a lot of people in my time. And I've got no quibble with them putting me on a blacklist. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to seeing what, Dead Space is going to be, how it's going to work, if it's going to be just, a shot-for-shot remake with snazzier graphics. Is it going to be all the DLC? Will it get the Mass Effect Legendary Edition treatment? But you know what? If it's half as good as Mass Effect Legendary, and I've heard good things about the game, I really have. And who doesn't like a good creepy space horror game? I'm in. I was hoping to see a little more from EA, but it is only one company. So, they'll announce what they announce. So, EA are not in my bad books, and I don't think they have been for a while. And I will check out whatever else is on EA Play via the Xbox app. TJ, thank you for dropping by. Okay, so as you can tell, it's a regular Friday because the RP Genius and Raypad are carrying their own fucking conversation on. They can't even be bothered to back channel it. They can't even be bothered to say, you know what, let's have this conversation on Twitter DMs, because they follow each other and they chat there. I see the conversations. No, they just want to have the fucking conversation while I'm talking. Would you like me to get the Roman Catholic meter long ruler and wrap your knuckles, boys? Have I played Doom Eternal? Yes, I have. And I also played Proteus, because I remember the last time we talked, a couple of people said Proteus was a bunch of fun, Doom-esque, and I should play it. And I downloaded it and I played it and I like it. And it really feels old school, sort of like Doom 2. Bunch of fun. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Well done. What else am I playing right now? Shadow Warrior, I'm playing. Blast from the Past. Ironically, Shadow Warrior, for some reason, I accidentally downloaded it while I was downloading another Blast from the Past. And one of my favorite games of all time, Saints Row 4. So I think I must have just downloaded and updated that one, and then just for some reason clicked on Shadow Warrior, because Shadow Warrior is next to Saints Row on my Steam list. So yes, Proteus. Anybody who loves the old school sort of like Doom feel in your game, have a look at Proteus. It's work in progress, but bunch of fun. Bunch of fun. All right. Yes, they're talking during class. Can somebody just slap one of them around the head? Thank you very much. Saints Row is one of my favorite games. Saints Row 4. Look, I played Saints Row 1 and 2, and I felt they tried so much to be Grand Theft Auto, and they couldn't pull it off because they couldn't out GTA. And so Saints Row 3 came along, and they were like, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun with it. And Saints Row 3 became more parody, and it worked. Issues? Yes. But it worked. And then Saints Row 4. Now, you got to remember, Crackdown is also one of my favorite games. So that whole bouncing around and picking up orbs and stuff. But then Saints Row 4 came out, and it just, you know how a game just tickles your funny bone? It just gets, in there, and it's like, hey, here it is. And that's what Saints Row 4 did. It was funny. It was fun. A little bit glitchy. Had some great voice acting. Totally like off your head fucking plots. The Leave It to Beaver aspect, and then the Matrix-esque escape. It totally borrowed from everything and everywhere. But it was fun. Hell, Keith David is doing the fucking voice of the vice president, for God's sake. That's great enough as it is. So, yeah. So yes, so Vampire the Masquerade, Shadow Warrior, two old school games, really old school. Work obviously play like a dream on my machine, and Proteus are three of the four games I've been playing this week. The fourth game I can't talk to you about because it's actually work related. So there you go. But I'll tell you, it's fun. Am I going to watch Masters of the Universe? I was never a sort of like He-Man kind of guy. Simply because, I mean, it came a decade later for me. I mean, Masters of the Universe was what, mid-late 80s? And I was already a teenager by then, and I was already, doing teenage boy stuff. But I can appreciate it. I mean, I watched the movie with Dolph Lundgren. That was funny as fuck. Simply because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. Have been. I mean, it's funny. Our birthdays are a couple of weeks apart. Our heart attacks were a couple of weeks apart. He has obviously gone on to become very healthy and lost a lot of weight. Me, less said, the better. So, yeah. I am going to give it a go. Obviously, with Friday morning comes Apple TV Day. And there are 3 shows on Apple TV now that me and the good lady are watching. There's Schmigadoon, which is the musical with the guy from Key and Peele. Keegan-Michael Key. Yes, that's right. And Cecily Strong from SNL. And it's pretty fucking funny. It really is. It's pretty funny. Anybody who's sort of like been to see a musical in the theater or has even, partook of musical theater in our teenage years will appreciate it. It's funny. It's, it's very, very surreal. Smoke 2 joints and call me in the morning. The other one is Physical, which is the 80s aerobics story type thing about a fictional San Diego woman who starts her own aerobics thing in the 80s and has to deal with bulimia and stuff. That one we just fell into. Great cast, great music, because again, me and the wife, old. But then, of course, there is the third show, the one that dropped, that came back this morning, season 2 of Ted Lasso. That's right, in Ted We Trust. Hashtag in Ted We Trust. It's back. If you haven't seen Ted Lasso, what rock have you been living under? If you don't have Apple TV, it's worth getting Apple TV just to watch this fucking show. Binge watch season 1, get Apple TV for a month, binge watch it, and then drop it again until all of season 2 is up and do the same. Ted Lasso was the show that got me through the pandemic last year. It was the show that got me through the recovery from my double bypass last year. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't really go out because obviously a pandemic, and I was immunocompromised because, I had an 8-inch scar in my chest and 4 holes under that. So yeah, my summer was much like this summer, totally locked down. So yeah, when Ted Lasso started, I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it because I like my footy, and I happen to like, I like the cast. I think, they just got a great cast. And I love the footy, and I love the fish out of water idea. Initially, I thought it was going to be a knockoff of Major League because obviously the Hannah Waddingham character is. She hires Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, to drive this team into the ground to get revenge on her ex. And it was like, and then it kind of 180'd. And the people, you were expecting to hate Ted Lasso because he's just so cheesy nice, and you're going to find out what's wrong with him. Is he, is he somebody who likes to pour whipped cream on cats' asses and lick it off or something like that? Will the evil plot to get them, get the relegated and out of business, will it come to fruition? Is she a bitch? And blah, blah, blah. And honestly, it just totally 180s every expectation. Ted Lasso was the guy we needed last year, especially you got to remember that we were in the height of Trumpism and the height of COVID denial. and every other piece of bullshit that was going on. Not just in the UK, US, UK, Russia. I mean, let's face it, the world was a shit place last year. Not much better this year, but last year was one for the fucking record books. And Ted Lasso was the guy that got me through it. The Ted Lasso was the show that just made me smile every fucking week. Because let's face it, I want to be like Ted. So you see, I've got this. I shaved the beard down to goatee. Next week, I think I might just have the beard, and I'll get some hair dye, some just for men, and I'll go full on Ted Lasso mustache. Because look at me, I've gone full Santa with my fucking beard. Oh God. But yes, so yes, it's a great series. It's back today. It starts a little bit slow, but once it gets going, it's again full of warmth, full of comedy, a little bit dark at the beginning. Poor Earl. But yeah, Ted Lasso's back, and I couldn't be happier. And I know Raypad. I know my boy Raypad loves some Ted action too. And we will we'll continue to live and love Ted Lasso for as long as he's on for the next 8 episodes. Let me see. All right. Let's go back to the chat room, because I mean I got a little caught up there. And I'll talk some more about a couple of other movies I watched this week. Actually, I think Saints Row on live. Let's see. Football is life. Yes, Keegan-Michael Key with regards to Schmigadoon, and obviously Jordan Peele was the other half, and has gone on to do The Twilight Zone and Get Out and Us, and his new movie, which I think is called just Nope. That's coming out next year with Daniel Kaluuya. So, yeah. Let's see. Did I watch the Olympics opening ceremony? Asked the RP Genius. It's a bizarre, but also, no, I didn't. I have no interest in the fucking Olympics this year. I don't think they should be happening. If the people of the country and the city that is hosting didn't want the fucking Olympics to happen, then they should have the power to say, fuck off IOC for another year, or we'll just not have these Olympics at all. It's quite ridiculous that one of the 2 most corrupt sporting institutions in the world, being the International Olympic Committee, the other one being FIFA, one of the most corrupt institutions in the world is allowed to make people say, "Oh, we're going to select your city after you've bribed them, fucking kowtowed to us to win the nod." And you're not going to make X amount of money out of it, and you've got to do X, Y, and Z, and you don't even have the power to fucking cancel your own the Olympics. I think it's fucking abhorrent. And of course, the IOC continued with the douchebag vein this week, corrupt motherfuckers that they are. I think Brisbane has got the 2034 Olympics, or 2032, whatever it is. That was announced this week. And now, apologies to any Australians watching, my geography's off. Brisbane's in Queensland, and Queensland have their own premier. And the premier of Queensland said that she was not attending the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympics. Because, fucking COVID, Delta variant, and we've got a new one, Lambda variant. I mean, Jesus Christ, frat houses everywhere, riddled. I'm so apt that they've actually switched this Delta Lambda thing. So let's face it, every frat house and every sorority house is riddled with fucking crabs and COVID. But yeah, she said she was not going to go. And this was in a meeting that was on, televised. The representative from Australia for the IOC, I don't know his name. It was probably Didgeridoo Kangaroo Fuck. Probably tossed some babies on a Barbie and ate a dingo in his time. He turns around and says, like this, "Oh, you're going. You are going," and there's no discussion there. I gotta say, the premier of Queensland, she obviously has a lot of self-control, because if some fucking dude had turned around and said that to my wife, she'd have knocked his teeth down so far down his throat, everything of his would have been down under. And this is the problem with the IOC. Corrupt, arrogant, 90% of them need to be in jail. And the Olympics did not need to happen, which is why I'm not watching the Olympics. The football's already started. Do not give a fuck. I'd much rather all the players are home. I am so happy that no Liverpool players are taking part. That the likes of Mo Salah are not taking part in this fucking debacle. I don't think, and the Paralympics are going on, and the disabled athletes aren't allowed to bring helpers to literally help them around because of the COVID lockdowns. It's a fucking joke and a fucking disgrace. Never should have happened. And some country needs to do to the IOC what the several different countries did to Sepp Blatter and FIFA back in the day. FIFA, UEFA, all of these fuckers. Slap them, lock them up. Oh. So yes, that's my thoughts on the Olympics. So there you go. Here we go. All right, because we're since I'm on Ranty Pants and I've lost a couple of viewers already. So, anti-vaxxers in Ireland are complaining about not being allowed into a pub because they're yes. So here's the deal. This is Uncle Marcus's patented views on you don't want to have a vaccination. So you don't want to have a vaccination. That's fine. You don't get to go out. You don't get a passport, the vaccine passport. You get low-jacked. You get one of those little things attached to your feet that if it goes off, sets off an alarm and you get arrested. And if you set foot outside your fucking house ever until you get a vaccine, you get arrested and you get tossed in solitary. That's it. If you don't have a medically proven and accurate, I'm not talking about some shit from your goddamn crystal fucking chiropractor who says, well, your chakras aren't attuned, but so take this crystal, stick it up your ass, I'll adjust you, and none of us need to be vaccinated. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about a bona fide issue, because the ones with the bona fide issues are the reason the rest of us got vaccinated and we are wearing masks to keep them safe. Because if we all stay masked and if we all get vaccinated, the variants will die out, because that's just the way it is. And we can keep the elderly and we can keep the kids and keep everybody safe with regards to those who can't have the vaccination. Anybody who refuses to get the vaccination now, it's just a fucking asshole, needs to stay home, cannot go to a pub, cannot go to a concert, cannot go to the theater, movies, grocery store. Oh, and Eric Clapton this week. Eric fucking Clapton, 700-year-old fucking cocaine addict, turns around and says, I'm going to cancel all my concerts at any theater or any venue that insists on a COVID test and COVID vaccinations. I'm like, you know what? You're not even fucking relevant anymore. I mean, you and Van Morrison can just fuck off. I mean, these people are so fucking disconnected. And it's always the 70-year-old fucking white guy. It's always the miserable fuck who we all have to get vaccinated to protect. Because if they got COVID, boom, they'd be gone in a fucking heartbeat. And then everybody would go, oh, look, Eric Clapton's dead. Oh, what a shame. It's like, you haven't done fucking anything in 30 years. Layla was the last fucking song you did that was any good. Now, fuck off, you old bastard. So, yes. Anybody who wants to go out here in Pasadena, there's a bunch of bars in LA actually have said if you don't have your COVID passport, which I do on my iPhone, I have my COVID certification, anybody else can fuck off. And that's the way it should be. You're a third-class citizen if you refuse the vaccination. So there you go. Old white guy ranting. Raypad. No, Raypad, everybody's just throwing me fucking topics. I've got opinions on everything this week. Norwegian women's handball team got fined for not wearing bikini bottoms. Yep, fuck that shit. They should wear fucking long johns if they want to. They should wear head-to-toe fucking spandex suits and if they want to. The guys get to wear the fucking baggy shorts and the stupid singlets. The girls have to wear this skin-tight fucking bullshit. Fuck that. You know what? Make the guys wear exactly the same shit as the girls. There you go. Let's go back to my booth babe, booth personality model spokes thing analogy. From now on, men and women have to wear identical uniforms all the way through the fucking Olympics, every single fucking sport. That's it. Let's see how the men handle with a little fucking banana fucking bulge smuggler fucking things and the little crop tops. See how they fucking cope with that. Oh no, I gotta have a baggy shirt, man. I just can't be showing this off. Yeah, that's another fucking rule for when I take over this planet. Gosh, somebody should give me the power. Jed is though, if the IOC are corrupt, then FIFA and UEFA, the Corleones, and so yeah, I mean they're all corrupt. They're all fucking repugnant. All of them. All of them. I'm lucky. I am lucky to be in LA County where, and California, where we do actually have a pretty high rate of people who are vaccinated, one of the highest in the country. Unfortunately, because we are the most populous state in the union, there is still a shit ton of fucking morons who refuse to get vaccinated. Some of them around here. Some of the fuckers who live less than a mile from me. That we see on our local Facebook group. Twats, I call them. And I call it to them to their face. Fucking can't stand them. Get the COVID. Die. Prove Darwin right. You know what? If COVID's going to be of any use to us as a population, well, I think what he needs to do is just fucking wipe out those the anti-vaxxers. Wouldn't the world be a better fucking place? I mean, talk about sunshine and lollipops and fucking happy, joy, and us all dancing around and no more fighting, no more shooting. Because let's face it, there is a subset of fucking of the planet who are anti-vax, who are flat Earth, who are pro-gun, who are anti-abortion and women's rights and misogynistic and homophobic. And they, in the Venn diagram of all those things, they're all right in the fucking middle. So honestly, I used to feel bad about saying this, but fuck them. Let them all get COVID and die, because guess what? We've got too many people on this planet anyway, and none of these fuckers are needed. Bye-bye. Wouldn't want to be here. Off you go. We'll turn you into compost and send you to organic farms. Whew. Jed is Thor. Marcus, independent Wales. Yay or nay? Yay. 100,000%. Independent Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Actually, Northern Ireland seems to want to be part of England anyway, so that's their call. But I know Wales and Scotland fucking done. There's a reason that Wales and Scotland are not opening up like England has with regards to COVID, and we still have those countries still have lower rates than England. England's in for a fucking world of hurt because of their COVID things, because of their fucking Tory asshole government. So yeah, independent Wales would love it. They could get back into fucking Europe along with Scotland. Great. Build a fucking wall. Build a wall right down to keep the fucking size out. And actually, I do love so many English people. I just wish you'd stop voting for the Conservatives. I really do. I've got so many friends who are English. Yes, I saw Yaya Toure was at Liverpool's training camp. He was invited by Sadio Mane, in fact. He's not replacing Gini Wijnaldum as our new signing. Oh, all right. Let's see. Oh, we were talking about the Republicans and why they've been telling people to be for the longest time. They told people not to be vaccinated, and to be fair, to be consistent, a lot of them still are saying that. But now they're starting to oh, you should get vaccinated. I got vaccinated. You should get vaccinated. They're changing their fucking tune. You know why they're changing their tune? Their voter base is fucking dying. And their donation base is fucking dying. Who else is going to bilk? Who else are they going to bilk? And who else are they going to get convinced to put them back into power so they can get their nose back in the trough over and over if these fuckers are dying out? So now they're like, oh, and also they're in the pockets of a lot of corporate sponsors who are like, we give you all this money. Now we need people back to work. So get the fuckers vaccinated because, oh, they're all dying. Not exactly rocket science. Rockets, Jeff Bezos, giant cock, little cock. Did you see Blue Odyssey this week? I mean, seriously, it was like that Dr. Evil thing rocket from the second Austin Powers movie, which is basically a cock of balls. I mean, Jeff Bezos rode a giant cock to the edge of space and then came back down and proved he is a total cock by saying, thanks to Amazon staff and customers, you paid for this. Fuck you, Slapedicus Rex. Another one. White man. Tiny penis. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck Musk. Fuck fucking Facebook guy. They're the problem with the fucking world, man. It's ridiculous. I know so many good white blokes. And, you know, middle-aged white blokes like me. Decent people. We never get into power. We never, you know why? Because we're too fucking nice. We don't have that killer instinct. We can't be enough of a wanker. Angel Lux. Yes, you really did pick a good time. I mean, I am just picking on every motherfucker I can this week. And they all seem to be old white guys. But let's face it, I am one. So, you know, I'm allowed to go after these fuckers. Because they're like, oh, well, you know, you can't come after me because it's racist if you do this, that. And it's like, no, it's not racist. You're old. You're white. So am I. Fuck you. I got more hair than you, Bezos. You may have more money, but I am not follically challenged yet. I probably will be. I mean, this is, it thinned a little bit on top after the bypass, which is actually quite common. The body goes into shock, and actually, you know, I lost a little bit of hair. And then, you know, my family does, the men in my family, we sort of like have that widow's peak thing come in, which is fine. If the widow's peak comes in, I'm actually down with that. If I end up Friar Tuck, I might have to just shave it all off and go full Bezos, but without the tiny shriveled penis, of course. I've got a big shriveled penis. I'm old. Nothing works. You get to 50, you're like, fucked. Seriously. So, yes. So welcome, Angel Lux. Welcome. And everybody else, welcome. And thank you. And how long have we been going? Almost an hour. Considering I really didn't have that much to talk about, I managed to squeeze another hour of entertainment out with, well, hopefully entertaining to you good people. Oh, I want to tell you what else I watched this week. I watched 2 movies. Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix with Amelia Pond from Doctor Who, Karen Gillan. It's a John Wick with a ginger lady. John Wick-esque. Thoroughly entertaining, moderate budget, stellar cast. Yeah, in fact, I mean, there's a lot of people in the cast that they don't actually announce, so I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, there's a fucking amazing cast of some of the best lady actors, female actors, actresses, whatever. Old person, don't know them of the vernacular anymore. Just amazing. Ass kickers, all of them. Best in their field. So yeah, I watched it with the missus, thoroughly enjoyed it. Also watched a little bit older that came out earlier, a couple of months ago, Boss Level on Hulu, with the guy who was Crossbones in Captain America Civil War and the head of the Shield/Hydra strike team, Frank Grillo, I think his name is. And that was a Groundhog Day-esque, living the same day over and over, getting killed, couldn't figure out why, and watched that one. Michelle Yeoh was in that one for a little cameo, and she's amazing. I'll give away that Michelle Yeoh is actually in both movies, but that was kind of fun, even though, you know, Mel Gibson, who's a bit of a fucking dickbag, is the bad guy because you see him, but he gets what's coming to him. And then the other one I watched yesterday, which I think was called Shock or something like that. Hang on. Have to be. I mean, I watched it last night. The wife was off playing mahjong. Hang on. Let's see. Amazon Prime Video. It's a Prime original. No, fuck off. With Kate Beckinsale. And I can't remember what it's called. God damn it. And of course, Jolt. Jolt Shock. Jolt with Kate Beckinsale in it. Another fun, low budget ass-kickery movie with a really good female protagonist. I'm guessing it's based on a comic book or something, because most of them are nowadays. But yeah, that's 3 movies this week that are absolutely brain dead, absolutely disposable, and absolutely way more enjoyable than The Tomorrow War, which was also on Amazon Prime. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend those 3 movies. Let me see. Oh yes, Raypad. See, look at this. Raypad is running a fantasy league soccer thing. We did it last season, and I was so cocky. My back 5 last season. I had Allison in goal. I had Trent Alexander-Arnold as my right back. I had Joe Gomez, and I had Virgil van Dijk. I had 4/5 of the tightest defense from the Premier League champions. And what happens? They all get injured. I lose my centre-backs for the season. And I end up coming last but 1 in the league. Oh, I had Harry Kane. If it wouldn't have been for Harry Kane, I would have ended up last. I had Harry Kane as well. I mean, my team was set up not to concede, chip in a bunch of assists and the occasional goal from the defense. And then up front, Kane was going to make the assists and everything, and I'd have fucking cakewalked that thing last season. I think Ray probably would have agreed with me. But yes, it's horrible. But I will be back. I am going to register. So you should ask Ray to send you a link. I was horrible. Palm Springs. Disturbed Swan asks, Palm Springs on Prime Video. Is that the one with Andy Samberg in? If it is, it's on Hulu over here, actually. I think it is. But if it is, that's sort of like Groundhog Day again, time loop one. Yeah, watched it when it first came out. Loved it. Great, funny, great cast again. It's amazing that these outlets, the streaming outlets, have such good casts and are giving everybody else a run for their money. Let's see. This one I'm going to echo. And look at this. We're up to 20. We're up to 23. It's like that one. There you go. Kind of want to see Snake Eyes. I want to see Snake Eyes too. And I'm not a G.I. Joe kind of guy. I watched the 2 movies. First one was kind of inoffensive. I wasn't familiar with G.I. Joe, because again, in the 80s or 70s, we didn't have G.I. Joe. It was called Action Man. And it had the Kung Fu grip, and it had the eagle eyes, and that's what it was rebranded as in the UK. And I used to have a bunch of Action Men. My mum worked in a toy factory. How cool is that? Single mom. And she worked in a toy factory so that she could get discount on the toys. And so for Christmas, I get Action Man on birthdays, and I'd have the Jeep and the rocket, and it was amazing. But yeah, we didn't have G.I. Joe, but I became aware of it with the Transformers stuff as well. In the 80s, as they started dropping them on Saturday morning TV. Do you remember that? When Saturday morning TV used to have cartoons and shit. Now, every day Saturday morning TV. So yeah, I watched the 2 movies, Rise of Cobra and the other one. Second one was awful. Even with Bruce Willis and Dwayne Johnson in it. Awful. Oh, first one was... but yeah, Snake Eyes origin film has come out, and Henry Golding, who was from Crazy Rich Asians. He was in The Gentleman and Last Christmas, just to name 3. He plays Snake Eyes. Now, I've been reading a lot of controversy about this, because in the books, Snake Eyes is very much like the Iron Fist character. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed American boy, gets orphaned, trains as a ninja, and this is what we have. Henry Golding, not that. English Malaysian, tall, dreamy looking, dark hair. Hey, makes my heart pitter patter. And apparently there's been copping a lot of flack from various hardcore G.I. Joers who are like, oh, he's not blonde-haired or blue-eyed. How can he be Snake Eyes? Well, there you go. So yes, I'd like to see it too, but I'm not going to a fucking theater. Not because I don't think, I don't think that my vaccination is going to work. I think it is going to work. But you know what? I just don't think I can trust any other fuckers. Oh, all right, back to chat. Action Man, absolutely. Action Man. See, people are saying Action Man was awesome. Dr. X Cobra Command. New Scarlet. Sorry, I'm reading the chat, and now everybody's off and having their own thing. So yeah, I'll watch it at some point. The one I am looking forward to, and I'm kind of disappointed again, I can't stream it in directly, is the new guy, or the whatever it was, the Ryan Reynolds one, the NPC where he plays an NPC. That looks like a bunch of fun. I really do look forward to seeing that one when it's available for streaming, because I'm not going near a fucking theater, because again, we can't trust other people. Social contract, people. Social contract. I know you good people who are watching this are great and are doing the best you can and wear your masks and have your vaccinations and try to be responsible. It's just the other motherfuckers. 7.5 billion of us. Oy vey. All right, look at that. We are 1 minute into the second hour. I don't think I'm going to last much longer. Feel free to throw any last questions my way. Tomorrow, British and Irish Lions take on the South African Springboks. Rugby, if you have Peacock here in the US, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, I think it is. Yeah, should be a great first test match. Some controversy already around it, but yes. What else have I been watching this week? Oh, I also watched the Roger Ebert documentary, Life Itself, that was filmed literally at the end of his life. And it's certainly a very interesting look at one of the premier, most famous critics of any entertainment, sector in the history of the world, I would say, and how he tackled stuff and his life story and stuff. So that's on Hulu, I think it is. Oh, actually, no, it's on Amazon Prime. There you go. Watch it if you can. Regal Cinemas is railing on Disney, saying that streaming releases kill their revenue and lead to piracy. I've seen this as well. Apparently, Disney made 2 million people paid for Black Widow, which I am one of them, with the $30 that first weekend. But they're saying it's also the most pirated Marvel movie yet. Understandable, because you have to make it out, get it out there. They've made it available, and then people pirate it because, again, people are fucking pricks. They've made their money back. They made their budget back. They'll continue to make their money back. There will be people who have paid for it yet who will rent it later down the line. But yes, I can understand the movie theaters being so unhappy about it. But tough Testicular Tuesday. You understaff your cinemas to a degree that you cannot police them. You couldn't fucking police them before the pandemic. You couldn't check people's tickets then. And so God help if you actually went to a theater that didn't have assigned seating. It was a fucking free-for-all, because half the time people would just come in from other fucking screenings, just take the seats. And if it was a packed showing, you were fucked. I paid for my ticket. Tough titty. Guess what? Somebody's already taken your seat. So I would like to see, if this puts an end to the multiplex and we go back to some of the old school type theaters, I'm actually kind of good to that, because obviously I'm old enough to remember going to, a theater chain where they had 3 screens at most, but the main screen was like 600, 700, 800 fucking people, and it was gorgeous and big screen, amazing sound. And make sure you got enough staff. Make sure you've got security. Pay the money for the security. And I'm not talking about one 60-year-old guy who once used to be, a community policeman and is now 400 pounds. I am talking about pay for proper security, so that when you get some ass clown come in and say, I'm not going to wear a mask, I don't have a vaccine card, I demand you let me in. They just go, hi, pepper spray, pepper spray, pepper spray, grab you, out the fucking door we go. Open the door first. I mean, we have to be nice. But that's it. You're trespassing. You're threatening people's lives because you're a disease carrier. Get the fuck out. Then I might go back to the theaters. See, vote for me. If I could run for president, I'd be a fucking awesome president. I'd actually be a terrible president. I'd be fucking getting so many people fucking in trouble. Have I seen the trailer for Dune? I haven't seen the new one because I'm on block with Dune. I want to wait until the movie comes out. I mean, the last trailer I saw a couple of months ago sold me. I'm in. HBO Max, day one. By then, might even have a new TV. Suicide Squad next month. Ditto. Don't need to see any more trailers. I am there. HBO Max. Day one. Let's see. Oh, Unito. I can't fucking pronounce your screen name. What the fuck? What's wrong with me? Have I seen Raised by Wolves? Yes, started watching it on HBO Max. The wife watched it all the way through. For me, I lost a little bit of patience with it. I think I watched 3 episodes and nothing really was happening. The wife watched it all the way through. She kind of enjoyed it, but it wasn't for me. I mean, it's felt for me, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong, it's the Ridley Scott one, isn't it? It felt very similar to Prometheus to me, and just the way it was shot and a lot of other things, but it just dragged. It just dragged a little. And yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. Well, D. Night Walker with the question we've all asked in the games industry. Look, he has guided Activision from 4th, 5th place to number 1, number 2, alternating with EA. So he's been at the helm. He's overseen a lot of stuff. He has made hard business decisions that have paid off at the detriment of new IPs, originality. I mean, he's basically turned Activision into a conveyor belt of Call of Duty and fuck all else. And Blizzard into Diablo, Warcraft, StarCraft. That's it. I mean, where's the new IPs from those guys? He's very good at creating this factory line of the same game, different iterations. And I guess that's worth 150 million a year. Or whatever the fuck it is. I mean, he's already got more money than God. So, yeah. Ooh, thank you, RP Genius. Steam Deck. Yeah, this was obviously, I was going to talk about it last week, but it wasn't that much to talk about. So Steam Deck is coming out, and I've actually got my little option to buy or option to pre-order thing. I gave them my $5, and we'll see. Obviously, I went for the sort of like the high endest of end ones. We'll see if I'm going to get it. Or I don't want to pay $600 for something that goes the same way as my fucking Nintendo Switch. But it looks really cool. It looks like a loss leader. The issue is you can only play Steam games on it. It is a Steam Deck. And obviously they did the Steam Cube before. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to update. And then when the pre-order time comes, I'll actually make a game time decision with regards to that. If it comes down to getting a Steam Deck, a PlayStation 5, or an Xbox Series X, that's where it's going to get tough, because I would much rather get an Xbox or a PlayStation, because I do have this kick-ass machine. And the idea of taking a Steam Deck away on vacation is all well and good, but given the current global situation, I ain't going on fucking vacation soon anyway. So I don't need that portability. I mean, I can I catch up with stuff on my iPad, play games on my iPad if I have to or if I want to. But that's about it. I mean, the rest of the time I'm here consoling. Controllers. Boom. And actually I can play Xbox games on my iPad as well, which is pretty fucking cool. So yeah, we'll see on that one. We will see on that one. Like I said, I wanted to get the option to get it just in case, not to miss out, but we'll see. We'll see. Need to know more. Need to know more. That's the thing, Jedi, is though, can you, I mean, it says you can load up other stores, but this is Steam and this is, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'll believe it when I see it, to be honest with you. Okay, so you can install anything as Windows on there. And look, this is amazing. You guys are fucking amazing. You've done way more research than me. In my defense, like I said, I've actually been playing a lot of games this week. So yeah, I mean, do I get that or do I get a new portable? Because my laptop is getting old, dying a death, bless her. Do I get a new laptop? Yeah, now you got me thinking, because like I said, I went for the big one. I went for the big fucking mama jamma. Ooh. All right, we're gonna have to keep on talking about this. See what the gods say in a couple of months. But I still want to get an Xbox and a PlayStation. I still want an Xbox and PlayStation. I also want a new house with a games room the size of a small barn, so I can have my collectibles out, and it can be air conditioned and perfect, and locks on the doors, and machine gun turrets on the roof, and sharks around the moat. Maybe I'll win the lottery tonight. Wouldn't that be cool? Everybody's Patreon will be refunded. And I'll be like, you'll not see me for a couple of weeks because I'm buying a mansion, and then I'm going to get turned into a studio, and then we'll just do proper things, and I'll pay for an intro sequence and music, and I'll still have you amazing 20, 25 people watching every week, and it will be great. Pontius Rodling makes an interesting point. I mean, keyboard and mouse, it's interesting. The older I've gotten, I mean, I used to be keyboard and mouse for the win. Always. Keyboard, mouse, lean, bah, bah, bah. The older I've gotten and the better these things have gotten, I've started to play more with joypads. There's certain things, of course, you still have to play keyboard and mouse for. MMOs, duh. But yeah, other games, more shootery games now I can actually play a little more on the console joypads. Anyway. All right, I think we're done. Unless you have any more questions, my good people, I will say thank you for tuning in. As usual, you could follow me on the Twitter at AnnoyedGamer. If you're watching on the Twitch, just hit me a follow, not a sub. Don't sub me. On YouTube, you can give me a sub there because it doesn't cost you anything. And the reason I'm asking is if you do feel like throwing a couple of shekels my way just for this, once a week extravaganza of live buffoonery, you can go to patreon.com/IamBeer. I will say, do not sign up for any of the higher tier ones because I'm actually going to redo the Patreon, and I'm thinking I'm just going to come down to just 2 tiers. That's it. But yes, if you can support me, great. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep the AC on, helps keep me in baggy black clothes. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much. You good people. Have a lovely weekend. Have a good week. Reach out to me on Twitter. Leave me a comment. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation. And we will catch up in 7 days. Be good. Stay alive. Bye.